We're looking live at Bank of America Stadium. Seats are dry now. That could be a different scenario later on this evening. Ted, when can we expect the first bands of rain from Nicole?
Yeah, I'm thinking early afternoon, shortly after lunchtime, 2 to 3 o'clock, mainly towards Lancaster, Chesterfield counties. But we are going to be seeing more of that pushing through the Queen City as early as 5 o'clock. Taking a look, this is Tropical Storm Nicole currently holding on to 70-mile-per-hour winds as it's pushing pretty far inland towards the panhandle of Florida, peninsula of Florida, continuing to impact the west coast as well. This is a broad storm with the outer band stretching all the way up towards Charleston, delivering some of that heavy rain, making its track into southern Georgia by the time we get to early Friday morning, and a remnant low as it heads into the Carolinas, while a cold front approaches from the west, which is going to help push Nicole further north and east. So here's the setup that we have for today. High pressure off to our north, giving us that clockwise rotation, the counterclockwise rotation from Tropical Storm Nicole, kicking up the cloud cover into the Carolinas before the moisture arrives. Walking you through that, there's the first band of that rain coming into your Thursday afternoon and evening. Even further, we get some heavy downpours overnight into your Friday morning. That cold front approaches, pushing Nicole now east and off to the northeast, giving us a little bit of relief, but some cold air behind that is what's going to settle in for the weekend. So we have a tropical storm warning up the South Carolina coast up into Charleston, more so in that high wind warning towards southern Georgia. And as the rain increases, here's the first batch towards 3 o'clock. For Shra into parts of Lancaster, pushes through the Queen City by the 8 o'clock hour, is pushing up towards our I-40 corridor. We are going to continue to get more of those impacts of the heavy rain overnight into your Friday, which is when we're going to be really getting those impacts that could also usher in the threat for some windy and gusty conditions, and can't rule out the potential for an isolated tornado. So here's what we look at as the temperatures get back into the upper 50s heading into your Saturday. You're looking at the flood watch for our mountain counties, wind advisories for parts of South Carolina, that's Lancaster and Chesterfield counties. And then the starting time for those showers is about 5 to 7 p.m. south towards the yellow. The orange is where the 7 to 9 p.m. impacts us, and more towards 11 o'clock or 9 o'clock this evening for the mountain counties. Most of that rain is going to be focused towards the higher elevation. That's where we have the flood concerns. But the heavy rain, localized flooding, and high winds are all things to be concerned with, and also the threat for an isolated tornado. So temperatures start in the 50s this morning. We'll finish off in the mid-60s as we have those heavy downpours arrive late overnight into your Friday. Much cooler conditions heading into early next week. Highs in the 50s and overnight lows in the 30s, with rains coming back on Tuesday.